Still technically have half a minute here.
In a second, anyone?
No.
It's a
Strong guess.
the meeting. I think we can start.
There
There we go.
Yeah.
Good. Good evening. This meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Asbury Park Press, the Two River Times, and the Star Ledger, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the municipal website. OPMA authorizes municipalities to conduct public meetings through the use of streaming services and other online meeting platforms. The Red Bank Council is meeting in person as well as providing an option for the public to participate via Zoom video meetings. Please note that the option to attend is being provided as a courtesy. Therefore, if Zoom becomes unavailable during the meeting and it cannot be quickly fixed, Council will continue with the remainder of the meeting. For those joining us via Zoom, please raise your hand during designated times to be recognized for a comment. Whether you are appearing in person or via Zoom, you must provide your name to be recognized. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have a roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis. Here. Councilmember Facey Blackwood. Oh, here. Councilmember Cassidy.
Present.
Councilmember Forrest.
Present.
Councilmember Janone. Here. Deputy Mayor Trigiano. Here. Mayor Portman.
Here.
All are present.
Okay, we have some guests from the Red Bank Boys and Girls Club, and they're going to do a presentation for us with an overview of their program there. Take it away, Doug.
I'm going to speak into the mic, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Please.
Well, first, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, Council, City Manager, City Attorney, I just want to thank you all for inviting me here to be with you this evening and share with you a little bit about the work that we do at the Boys and Girls Club. It is an honor, it's a pleasure. I love the work that we do, so I'm excited to be able to share it with you all. And I hope when I'm done sharing with you about the work that we do, that you will love it as much as I do. So, so if you, I have some slides that we're going to go through. If we could go to the next slide, I'd appreciate that. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Boys and Girls Clubs, we are we're a nonprofit organization focused on empowering young people, especially those who need us most, to ensure that they can become responsible, productive, caring members of society. You know, we do that through a variety of different ways. And I think when people think about Boys and Girls Clubs, I think a lot of people, first thing they think of is, oh, childcare. You know, they babysit kids. And that couldn't be further from the truth. We do so much more than watch kids after school. If you could go to the next slide. When we think about the work that we do, we envision ourselves creating an ecosystem of opportunities for young people to explore their interests and their passions. And so every day when school bell rings and kids leave school, the doors to the Boys and Girls Club open up for kids to come in. And we provide them with an array of different programs and services that are designed to meet them where they're at and provide them opportunities to grow and to develop and to set them on a path for future success in life.
There's a dog.
As an affirmation bark.
That's
right. So some of the types of programs that we run, character and leadership development, education and academic support, career development, college and career readiness programs, health and wellness, arts and technology, sports and recreation. When kids walk into the club every day, they have an opportunity to choose the types of programs that they want to engage in. I'm going to go through not all the detail. If you could move to the next slide. We have an array of programs like our Power Hour. That's probably the parents' most important program that we run. It's a homework help program. When kids come to the club and they get picked up after club is over, the first thing the parents want to know is that we help them help their kids get their homework done. But beyond that, we have programs like our Smart Moves program or Y Media program, which is a digital media creation program. If you go to the next slide as well, we have programs like Project Lead. Project Lead is our youth workforce development program where we hire freshman high school students and begin them on a 4-year journey of helping them to learn what it means to be successful in a professional environment. We pay them to be youth development professionals in our after-school program, where they're learning soft skills during their freshman year. And when they move into sophomore year, they're focused on community service projects, still while working in the club and participating in some of the professional development experiences, or what we would call wraparound services that we provide them. When they become juniors in high school, we're focused on college and career readiness. If they're interested in college, what are the things that we need to do to set them up to find the school that's right for them and apply and get the financial aid that they need? If they're not interested in college, we encourage them to come up with a plan, and we help them to plan for what they're going to do when they graduate high school, because they have to do something. We want them to be prepared for that. Passport to Manhood, Smart Girls, programs that help our young people as they go through their different developmental stages, learn how to navigate the social and cultural and emotional things that come along with growing up. These are all programs that are, again, designed, if you could move it to the next slide. These are all programs that are designed to capture their attention, keep them engaged, keep them coming back to the club. We also do programs in partnership with lots of different organizations. One that I'll highlight tonight is our math and literacy tutoring program. We partner with New Jersey Tutoring Corps to provide very intensive one-on-one tutoring support for our club members. We want them to feel comfortable in their academic setting, and we want them to, when they leave the club, know that they are set up better to succeed in their schooling. If you could move to the next slide. So I want to talk a little bit about the types of kids that come to our club. The club is open to kids who any kid that wants to come to the Boys and Girls Club is welcome, whether they're a Red Bank resident or not. We don't discriminate. We make it available to whomever is interested. That being said, mostly the kids that do attend the club are from the communities that surround the club sites where we're located. So here in Red Bank on the west side, it's mostly kids that are coming from the communities that are close to that facility. 96% of our club members are Black, Hispanic, Asian, or other people of color. 91% come from low-income households. 74% come from single-parent households. I'm sharing some of these statistics with you because when we think about the value that the club offers to the greater community, 74% come from single-parent households. These are single-parent households where a mom or a dad or sometimes even a grandparent are working hard at sometimes 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. If you could put yourself in that situation for a second, and you have a kid and that kid gets out of school every day at 3 o'clock, are you able to focus on your job, thinking about, well, what's my kid going to be up to? You're not going to be able to focus on your job. You're going to be distracted trying to wonder what's going on with your son or your daughter. But with the club there, we are able to ensure that parent and give them peace of mind in knowing that their kid, when they walk through the doors of the Boys and Girls Club, they're going to have people there who care deeply about them, not just caring deeply about them, but want to invest in the lives of their kids in the same ways that they as a parent want to invest in the life of their own child. We partner with families in that way, and we want to do the best that we can to ensure that those kids are set up to succeed. So I just want you guys to get a sense of the types of families that we're serving and the value that we provide to those families. If you could, yes, all right, you're ahead of me. Good, thank you. So this is just a little snapshot of the total number of kids that we serve over the past 3 years. The blue column is what we call registered members. Those are kids whose parents fill out an application, and those kids come on a consistent basis to the club, 3, 4, 5 times a week. The orange column is what we call other youth served. Those are kids who maybe don't come regularly to the club, but have in some way benefited from the presence of the club in the community, whether through some of our outreach programs or some of our holiday parties. And then the gray column is just the total youth served through the club that year. So in 2021, we had 281 kids that we reached. In 2022, 224, and last year, 339. Now, I want to stress, if we just look at 2023 for a second, in the blue column, registered members, 231 youth served. I'm sorry, 231 registered members. If you were to go to the facility, you wouldn't see 231 kids in the building. It's a small facility. It's 4,000 square feet. We're a licensed school-age childcare, and they cap how many kids we can serve at any given time. The facility and the layout of the facility as it is, we're capped at 70 kids can be in the building at any given time. So this includes summer camp. During summer, we have a lot more kids that are registered on any given day. Thankfully, my staff is really creative about how we schedule out trips. So there's never more than 70 kids in the building at any given time, even though there are more kids enrolled in summer camp than the space might allow for. If you could move to the next slide. I want to talk a little bit more specifically about the impact that we have on our community here in Red Bank. One of the things that we do is we do a lot of data gathering to understand the impact that we have on our kids. So we do a lot of surveys, we do a lot of pre-test and post-test to know whether or not what we're trying to accomplish is actually happening. So some of the data that I'm going to share with you tonight comes from some of those surveys. So the first data point is that 97% of our club members performed on grade level in 2023. We need to know that information so that we can target our services in ways that help our kids ensure that they can maintain their grade level. Parents take comfort in knowing that when they send their kids to the club, we're partnering with them and with the schools to ensure that the academics that they're learning in school is being reinforced in the context of the club. The next data point I want to share with you is that between 2021 and 2023, we provided over $25,000 in financial support to our club families. Every year at the end of the year, we do a family needs assessment to see what critical needs some of our families might have: utilities, rent, food, and then we prioritize the ones that are most acute. And we are able to, through private donations, provide small grants to those families to help alleviate some of the financial burdens that they might be struggling with at that particular time. This next data point I want to share with you is not specific to our Red Bank Club. It's a national study that Boys and Girls Clubs of America did about the average impact, economic impact that a club has in a community like Red Bank. So for every dollar that's invested in a Boys and Girls Club, Boys and Girls Clubs return $9.60 in current and future earnings and cost savings to communities. Now, if this was adjusted for the Red Bank community, that would be a higher return on investment. But the idea being that our literal presence in the community of Red Bank provides a long-term economic return for those kids who are able to participate in our programs. And then the final data point is that 65% of our Red Bank members qualify for free or reduced lunch at school. And when they come to the club during the school year, we provide a hot meal every night to every kid that comes through our doors. During summer camp, we provide breakfast and lunch to all the kids that come. And over the course of the year in 2023, we provided 8,000 meals and 5,000 nutritious snacks to all of our club members. I want to talk briefly about our economic investment that we make as an organization in Red Bank. Over the last 3.5 years, we've invested just shy of $1 million in running our operations out of a facility on the west side here in Red Bank. Out of that number, roughly $700,000 is staff and salary wages. Of the 22 staff members that we have working at our Red Bank site, 16 of those are Red Bank residents. So those are Red Bank residents who are earning a paycheck and spending their money in this community. And I think it's important for you all to recognize that value that that's completely not even associated with the mission value that we bring, but just the direct economic benefit of having Red Bank residents working at the club. The staff salary and wages, I think, a lot of people are always shocked. Well, like, what about all the programs? The magic sauce in the work and the impact that we have on the lives of the kids that we work with comes from our staff. If you all think about when you grew up and you think about what was the meaningful thing that changed the trajectory of your life, it's not going to be a class that you went to or a program that you were exposed to. It's going to be a teacher. It's going to be a coach. It's going to be some person that's shared a word of inspiration to you. That's what our staff do for these kids every day. They inspire these young people and they help shape the trajectory of their lives over the long term. talk briefly about just the broader impact. According to surveys, over 80% of parents agree that after-school programs help them keep their jobs and give them peace of mind about their children. We also have a broader community impact. After-school programs lead to better outcomes for youth and families, higher earning potential, improved school performance, reduced crime, all of this resulting in reduced burden and cost on communities and society as a whole. And then we have a crime prevention and public safety impact. Studies show that communities with Boys and Girls Clubs experience fewer violent crimes and lower rates of drug-related activity because those kids are engaged in constructive activities at the Boys and Girls Club instead of out on the street where they can be exposed to potentially risky behaviors. Now, we don't operate in a vacuum. We have a lot of partners here in Red Bank, various community service agencies that we collaborate with because we know and recognize that the club alone can't move the needle in the impact that we want to have in the lives of the families that we serve. But collectively, with all of our partners, we can have an outsized impact on what can become of these kids. So we partner with groups like the Two River Theater and Count Basie Center for the Arts, Project Right Now, Lunch Break. All of these organizations help provide a richer, more textured experience for our club kids, not just in the four walls of the club, but when we go and do site visits to some of these other organizations. And they're not all of our partners are listed here. I'm thinking about the Thomas T. Fortune. We have a great partnership with them as well. And then finally, I'll just close with, we are a tax exempt organization. We rely on people recognizing the value that we bring and wanting to invest in the work that we do by making financial contributions. And I want to thank the Borough of Red Bank. The Borough of Red Bank, we would not exist here doing the good work that we do with these families and with these children were it not for you all opening the doors and allowing us to operate out of 138 Dr. James Parker Boulevard. So I just want to take this opportunity to publicly thank you for that. And then finally, for anyone here on council or anyone in the room or online, if they would like to learn more about the club, if they want to come take a tour of the facility, please reach out to me. My email is up on the screen, and I would welcome having you here and showing you firsthand the impact of the work that we do. So with that, I'll hand it back over to you and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. Does anyone on the council have any questions?
Ben does.
Ben does.
Yes.
A question, a comment. I just want to thank you actually, because both of my kids took advantage of your programming.
That's great.
They're in the walking distance of where they grew up and live.
Put your mic on, Ben.
Oh, Mike. I just want to thank you because both of my kids took advantage. And the thing is, you helped us as parents. I remember two things, the summer camp.
Yeah.
Okay, but I also remember that when we would have a little crisis of like, I'm working and my wife can't do this, and, our plan after school collapsed, we would be able to go there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have the room, but we would be able to go there and, Yara, is that okay? And you guys are usually fine with that.
Absolutely.
And, that really, helped us as, struggling parents. So I just want to thank you for that. I mean, I remember the place being tight. Hopefully you've expanded since I was there 12 years ago with my kids. And you were redoing the backyard with some sort of.
Courtyard, yeah.
I have a couple of questions though. Do you have like transportation or bus, or do you walk everywhere, or do you pick up kids, or how does that work?
All the above. Yeah, some kids make their way to the club on their own. We do have buses and vans where we send them out to the middle school and the elementary school to pick kids up.
I also liked when I was there, and I'm glad to hear it today, you employ local people. There were a lot of local residents, neighbors that work there. And I really appreciate that on many levels. Let's see, I also had a question about how you're funded. Where does most of your money come from?
Yeah, so it's a pretty diversified funding stream. We have everything from small family foundation grants all the way up to federal government grants. We have special event fundraisers. I am the professional fundraiser for the club. I go out regularly trying to raise money. So we have individual donors that contribute. We have, I mentioned before that we're a school-aged childcare center, so we're licensed by the state. And so we partner with the state subsidies to provide subsidized care for those families who are eligible to receive subsidies. So that also helps defray the cost and makes it a little bit easier on the fundraising. But those are the main sources, foundations, grants, everything from government all the way down to private family foundations, individual donors, special events, and then childcare subsidies.
Now, you mentioned you invested $1 million. Does that mean you budgeted in the last 3 years $1 million, or what? Is that a capital investment you made? And I'm just curious what your Red Bank Facilities annual budget is, if you don't mind sharing that.
Yeah, that's the reflection of the actual expenses incurred for operating the past 3.5 years. I don't have the breakout budget. Our total budget is $3.5 million for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Monmouth County. I can get back to you with
It's okay. I just wanted.
specific for the Red Bank.
If you don't mind, send me an email.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else?
Just really quick, it was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was wonderful to learn some things that I did not know about your organization, so I appreciate you sharing with us.
Thank you.
Just had a quick question. How do parents usually find out about your services? Do they tend to be referrals from the schools, awareness in the community?
So both our staff go out to back to school nights. We get permission to set up tables during lunch to recruit. Partner agencies like Lunch Break's a great example. They're able to always direct people, have kids that need services that we provide and get referrals that way. So a lot of it's word of mouth. Kids vote with their feet, and if they're excited about what they're doing and they tell their friends, and their friends kind of pull on their parents and say, hey, we'd love to go to the club. And so it's kind of like that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
While we have you here, I just want to see if there's anyone from the public that has any questions. We're done. No? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming here.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Right, can I have a motion to open the floor for public comment on agenda items only?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right, public, the floor is yours for agenda items only. Anyone has any comments? Anyone online, Jim?
No, sir.
Yeah, one person.
Yes, okay.
Hi.
Who's your appointment?
Just state your name and address, please.
My name is Kristen Grazioso, and I live at 19 Leroy Place. All right, so hello. Thank you for having me today. This is my first Red Bank Council meeting. I've had the honor of working with Kate Trigiano and Councilmember Blackwood with my Clean Ocean Action program that I run called the Student Environmental Advocates and Leaders. It's a program that they got funding for in 2020 when I was hired. So I kind of saw it from the start in a virtual world to now a very in-person world with high school students who are inspired to get involved with their community and make environmental impacts, positive environmental impacts for their communities. So I just moved to Red Bank from Middletown and immediately texted Deputy Mayor Trigiano to get involved and see kind of how I can give back to the Red Bank community. So I am really excited to be appointed to the Community Equity and Engagement Council with Pat Pinto and work with you all to advance our shared goals. So thank you so much for having me and looking forward to meeting you all in person a little more face to face.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
I was so happy when she submitted her volunteer information form. She's just a shining star, and what she's pulled off with the SEAL program is phenomenal. And I think she's going to contribute beautifully to the Community Equity Engagement Committee. So thanks for moving here and immediately being like, I want to get involved. I want to do something, and not, being open to something
I
new.
didn't know where we were going with it till you got to the appointment. I was like, okay, that's what. It's like, I would hate to cut this off. This would be awful.
Like, this isn't on the
Right,
agenda.
right.
Yeah. No,
Sorry, I should have started with that.
no, it was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
You're a gift. Thank you.
And Kristen, I always say, welcome to Red Bank.
Yes.
And thank you. I've worked with you over the years. You've sent us some great students. You've done a lot to our community. So thanks.
Thank you all.
Yeah, Doug, if you have students that are interested in environmental work, she's unbelievable.
Yes.
So you guys should know each other for sure.
Anyone else have any comments on agenda items only? No, okay, can I have a motion to close the public comment for agenda items only?
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Hi.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from 7/25/2024?
Make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Can I have a motion to approve the executive session minutes from 7/25/2024?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up, introduction for 2024-36 and ordinance amending the salary ordinance of the Borough of Red Bank Streets.
Nope.
No.
No, that's all right. Oh, yeah, I had, for some reason I got streets on that copy of it. Okay. Let's try that again. Introduction of 20, I'm like a bad network anchor, just reading whatever's on the teleprompter.
You have a good night. See you.
First up is an introduction for 2024-36 ordinance amending the salary ordinance of the Borough of Red Bank. Can I have a motion to approve the ordinance on introduction?
Big motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facy Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janelle?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Public hearing on this ordinance will be on August 22nd. Next up is an introduction for 2024-37 and ordinance amending LoSAP. Can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-37 on introduction?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Abstain.
Councilmember Facy Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janelle?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Abstain.
Mayor Portman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Public hearing on this ordinance will be August 22nd.
It's the Length of Service Awards Program.
It's for the firefighters, which is why David and Deputy Mayor.
Just for the public's benefit, real quick, length of service awards program, if our volunteer services members answer enough calls, basically perform the volunteer service, they get an annual award that goes into a deferred compensation account functionally, and becomes a retirement benefit. There's also other benefits, which I believe involves the fireman's home and potential care, long-term care as well, if you're a LoSAP member. Nationwide program? It's probably statewide, but anyway, it's definitely in New Jersey. We're not sure if it's nationwide, but it incentivizes the volunteers.
Okay, next up is an introduction for 2024-38 ordinance establishing requirements for lead-based paint inspections. Can I have a motion to approve ordinance 2024-38 on introduction?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facy Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Public hearing on this ordinance will be August 22nd. We have a bunch of resolutions. Anyone want to take a look? Do any of these need to be done separately, or can we do them on the consent agenda?
Yeah, I think we should award Montana separately.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, any others? Anyone needs to pull out? No? Okay, so, I have a motion to approve resolutions 24-184 through 24-191 on the consent agenda.
I'll make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facy Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes.
Passes.
Thank you. Next up is resolution 24-192, awarding a contract to Montana Construction for the lead service line project phase 2. Can I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second, and then I would just,
I just want
Yeah.
to make a comment. This was kind of quick moving with the Montana award. We did have a bid opening process that took place 2 days ago now. And of course, when that happens, there's a lot that has to happen to get to that actual award. And in this resolution, Lori, I just want to clarify that there is the stipulation that the award is contingent upon the authorization of the DEP.
It's in there.
Right. So DEP is currently reviewing the submissions of the bids, specifically Montana's. Montana did our phase 1 lead service line replacements and test bidding on the west side. And they are we did have a low bidder that ended up pulling out of the process because they realized that they had a clerical error that we acknowledged. By way of our borough attorney, under the statute, they were able to pull out of the process because it was a qualifying error on their part. And then Montana was the second lowest bidder on this project. And, you know, we're satisfied with that because we know Montana's work already, and we've established that relationship with them with the work that was done on the west side already. So phase two is going to be underway pretty much in the next couple of weeks. They're going to start with around, you know, a significant number of test fitting on the rest of Red Bank. So there's going to be a lot of work going into this next phase. And then phase three, we have until 2031 to then replace the rest of the lead service lines under the statute.
But we're not gonna wait till 2031.
Our best friend.
All right. I guess roll call. I think we already did the second.
Councilmember Bonatakis?
Yes.
Councilmember Cassidy?
Yes.
Councilmember Facie Blackwood?
Yes.
Councilmember Fares?
Yes.
Councilmember Janone?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Triano?
Yes.
Mayor Portman?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. We have a special event request, Red Bank Hispanic Heritage Celebration on September 15th. Do we need? Anybody have any questions about that? No? All right, I guess a motion to approve the special event request?
Yeah.
We're good?
Yeah.
All right.
We
There
don't
you
have to
go.
vote on
We don't need a motion.
Second it.
it.
All right,
We don't need to
whatever.
vote on it.
There you go.
Well, we might as well finish it now. All in favor? All right, there we go.
I would just thank the Red Bank Public Schools for offering the rain date location for the event. They're offering to host it in the middle school in case of rain. So that was very nice.
No, thank you. Can I have a motion to open the floor for public questions and comments?
Make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, public, you are.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, neighbors. My name is Georgina Shanley, 115 Harding Road, Red Bank, New Jersey. And I'd like to quote Orwell, in this university seat, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. And what we're here tonight is to see if you would pass a resolution calling for the end of the killings to civilians in Gaza and the West Bank, to allow full humanitarian aid, release of all of the hostages. We don't even know how many hostages are left from the 250 or 240 taken on October 7th. We don't even know what condition they're in. And also release of the 10,000 Palestinian prisoners who've been taken since October 7th. Many of them tortured brutally and with documentation to show this. And also an end to the arms shipments to Israel to prolong this war. And it seems to be expanding. What Israel's government is doing is barbaric. It's starving the people. It's telling children, women, men, disabled people they can move to a safe place. And when they get to a safe place, they're bombed. Like even today, there's not even statistics in the news anymore. 11 were killed and 30 seriously injured. And they were told that this was a safe spot in a refugee camp. So it's really a situation that's a great disgrace to the whole world, to humanity. In March of 2024, this year, the International Criminal Court said from the evidence they have, there's reasonable grounds that 3 Hamas leaders, 2 of them have been killed recently, the 3 Hamas leaders have probable, have committed war crimes. There's evidence to show that they've committed war crimes. And also Netanyahu and Gallant, the defense minister, they could be arrested too for war crimes. And most recently last week, the highest court in the world, Mr. Cassidy, you'd know, the International Court of Justice, it said it's the occupation, Israel's occupation and annexation of the territories, including the West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem, is unlawful and violates the prohibition of racial segregation and apartheid. They called for an end of the occupation. I'm sorry for my frog. Disband the settlements, dismantle them, give back East Jerusalem, pay reparations to the Palestinians for damage done to them. The whole world is watching. And more videos, firsthand videos are being released and showing torture of Palestinians. I saw one video by a soldier, I'll stop in a minute, by a soldier that broke into a woman's house in the West Bank. The woman was in her 80s in bed, and it said a big German Shepherd on her. And we saw her being bitten. I mean, there's just no humanity. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what kind of condition these soldiers are going to be in when they return to their banks and to their IT jobs, because most of them are reserves. It's horrendous all around. All that we want is equality and human rights for everybody. That's all. And the Palestinians have been waiting a hell of a long time for this, and they've suffered greatly. And I think it's time for everybody to get together and make that push so that we do see that there is equality, that there is human rights for everybody, and that Israel's government is not an outlier where it can break every international law and get away with it. So I'm appealing to you to do your part on behalf of the citizens of Red Bank in sending a resolution to Mr. Pallone, who's voted for everything to do with this genocide, and see if pressure can be put on these people to do what's right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Barbara. Brady said you go first.
Barbara Boas, 135 Branch Avenue. The only corner in Red Bank without yellow lines. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I'm here to talk about again. Free chain, I'm just being facetious and silly.
No, I do have communication with the county. You're talking about.
Yeah, but part of it is Red Bank. The East Bergen Place side is Red Bank.
Right.
And the other night, there were 3 cars parked in front of my house, which I don't care. It's a public street, they can park there, except one of them was sticking out into Branch Avenue. And the way they drive on Branch Avenue and take the corners there, I'm surprised that there wasn't a bad accident. Those bright yellows corners do help. They're not the be all and end all, but they do help. And I just see them being painted all over town and I feel ignored. My feelings.
Don't ignore me.
My feelings are.
I don't want to ignore Barbara.
Oh, I'm only teasing, you know that. But that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. And I also want to thank the council for bringing to the forefront such organizations as the Boys and Girls Club and doing that because it's been there for years. I mean, and I didn't know all of those things that they do. And it was really very, very enlightening. And you keep doing that. And it really helps those of us who live in town to understand what's going on in the town better. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
Bless you.
Freddie Boyne, P.O. Box 2074. Good evening, Mayor and Council. A couple of things. I want to thank the parking authority, police officers that gives the ticket out. They're doing a fabulous job. These cars parking on the wrong side of the road, they really let them know that they're not supposed to do it. And it's making a difference on the west side. It really is. They're nice young men. They're very nice young men. The other thing is, a couple weeks ago, by the train station, Bridge Avenue and Mama Street, I went in the diner to get something, to order something. So when I went in there, it wasn't ready. So I came back out and I set my truck across the street. And this young lady came across the railroad tracks and she double parked right there at the light. And the gates came down. She went inside and I guess her food wasn't ready. She stayed in there for a period of time. And the gates went back up, the cars was coming, cars had to stop, let this one go to come around this one. If I remember, I counted, it was the third car, the fourth car was a police car. So I said, oh, she gonna get a ticket. I said, you got to give her a ticket. And police slowed up and went right around her. My concern is this. That is a unsafe area to do a double park right there. And the police ride by. At least he could have stopped and say, hey, look, you can't park like this. He kept going. Can't have this. When you got people coming into town doing this and they see it and happen, it's gonna start all over town. You're getting it now. In some of these liquor stores, people's double parking. They have to stop. These cops have to do their job. Maybe they don't want to write tickets, but they have to do their job. That's a safety issue. And it should be taken care of. I spoke to Ben about it. The other thing is, these young guys, these young kids got these cars around the town. And they flying up and down these streets. From Dr. Parker Boulevard, when you come over that hump, from Bank Street all the way to Leonard Street is a zone. And Ben came up there a couple months ago to get out the car on West Bourbon. The car came by so fast. Did I lie, Ben? Car came by so fast, Ben had to step back out the way. These young kids gonna hurt somebody sooner or later. They're gonna hurt somebody. And they're zooming up and down these streets, and we need more police on the west side. Patrol the area, stop these kids. I know Red Bank Police Department can't do everything. They can't be everywhere. I understand that. But you have to stop these young kids from doing it. Somebody's gonna get hurt. You got the leaves falling now. And when you hit these leaves, you're gonna slide right out in the street. They don't know that. That's what's gonna happen. So we need to have more cops patrolling the area. And the other thing I got is some of these peoples in this town is getting paid good money. And they're not doing their job. They need to do their job. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Wait a
Yes.
minute, I had a question for him.
Yeah.
So that car at the first story about the car, so when you say double parked, it was stopped to pick up lunch, they were stopped in the middle of the street?
She went in there to order something and her order wasn't ready neither. So she had to wait. So she parked next to another car that was parked in a parking spot. She parked right there. So
In the street?
yeah, she was in,
Designated parking spot.
she was in the street, double parked. Yep, she was in the street.
And then a Red Bank police car.
Came right around her, didn't even say nothing. And I sat right there in my truck. It was too late that I couldn't snap the picture because I was on the phone. I said, my God, I can't believe this.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Steve.
Stephen Hack, 135 Branch Avenue. Question about the new ordinance for lead paint and such. I do see that it will apply to those multiple dwellings where there are 3 or more units. But I wanted to ask, what is the impact on individual residences? For example, I'm assuming that it would be necessary to clear the lead paint to get a certificate of occupancy if you sell your home. Is that true? No.
This applies only to rental properties. If you buy or sell a house in New Jersey, there's a lead law. There's addendum, if you use a realtor, there's an addendum to every realtor contract that discloses the risks of lead paint to the buyer if the structure is built before 1978. And that's how your individual owned premises is handled.
No impact on individual residences.
No, I mean, as you know, the town has limited jurisdiction over, owner occupied properties essentially because.
When it comes to trees.
Well, that's outside the house. Fourth Amendment protects the inside. generally, but in any event, you're generally deemed as the owner of a property like that to be responsible for your own. What allows the state to pass this law about rental properties is that you're engaging in commercial enterprise with the property, and therefore it should be safe for any consumer / tenant who takes it. That's the jurisdiction. For single family homes, it's really it's up to you. It's your house.
Thank you. That makes sense.
But the realtors are required to tell you
Yeah,
by law.
thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Hello, good evening. 601 Cornell Street. This is my first time in Red Bank, actually. I am from Perth Amboy, New Jersey. I've been working to get a ceasefire passed in my town, and unfortunately, over 3 months, attending every single city council meeting, it did not pass. So I'm here today to express support for the ceasefire resolution, and I am very disappointed that it was not passed today. I heard that it was on your agenda or it was communicated with you all. I'm not sure the specifics about the ceasefire resolution, but I know in January it was communicated that residents of Red Bank did want this. So I just don't really know what to do anymore. I'm a New Jersey resident, and it's very clear our government is committing genocide, and American people do not care. Every American the large majority of Americans don't care enough. And it's really appalling and it's upsetting when one of the average ages of people dead is 5 years old. It's a majority of children and women being killed. I am a Latino, and I can't imagine the horrors that the Arab and Muslim community are experiencing right now. And I know that what the US is doing is not making the Israeli people any safer, is actually making it more dangerous for them, both here and abroad. All the people are asking is for equality and equal rights. I'm not sure if you heard recently, because it's not being covered on the news. So even I have to go to independent sources to see what is really happening on the ground, because CNN and our ABC, NBC is not going to cover this for you and the American people. So recently the ICJ, I believe it was ICJ or ICC, found that Israel is an apartheid state. So if anyone is unfamiliar what that means, it means that there are unequal rights for Palestinians that are living in Israel. And it's similar, and even South Africans have called it worse to the apartheid that was taking place in South Africa. And I know many of you probably see Nelson Mandela as a hero, and it's very upsetting to see people who are fighting for equal rights to be called and labeled terrorists or anti-Semitic, and it's just awful because it's conflating Jewish people with the fascist state of Israel, and I think it's wrong. And there are many Jewish people who are fighting to create an equal state where everyone has equal rights and everyone can live to a full age. And as public officials, you have a duty to listen to your residents, and American tax dollars are paying for this. So if you do not pass this, you are all guilty, and you have an association to genocide, and that I would never imagine anyone want that with them. I'm sure you have children, you have family members, and genocide means killing everyone. It means militants, it means innocent people going to school, little children. And what we're doing right now is awful and will be remembered for decades. And you have to take a stand, or you are standing with genocide. Thank you for listening to me today.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Alex Thompson, 95 Jackson Street, next door in Fairhaven. I just have 2 quick words. I may mispronounce them, so bear with me, but Stede Timon, the Stede Timon torture camp in Israel. In this torture camp, as recently as 2 days ago, CCTV footage was leaked by a whistleblower within their military. The fact that I witnessed this with my own eyes is something I don't think I can ever, it will take me years of therapy to fully process this. I saw Israeli soldiers holding shields up so that one of their comrades could rape another Palestinian. Rape, R-A-P-E. And then not only that, 2 weeks before that, or a week ago before that, it was very recently, there were these right-wing militias and like other people in Israel are going and charging at their, and like basically having their own version of January 6th, where they're attacking like government institutions because they're trying to protect these soldiers that are raping Palestinians. And then they're having discussions over there on Channel 12, basically their equivalent of like ABC, saying, do we as Israelis have the right to rape Palestinians who are, terrorists? the right to rape. What? Like, it blows my mind that then when, and that, like, I understand, yes, there's a lot that is not covered in the mainstream media, but just hearing any of, it's just like, where does it end? Where does it end? Like, like the murder of women, men, children, the rape of men, women, children, like it doesn't end. It doesn't end, and no one seems to care, or, you know, I mean, half people barely even looking at me. So of course, you know, I mean, what do you care? You just. The point I'm trying to make is that it is every day that there is like no action being taken, whether not just by this council, but by any council, is just another testament to how morally bankrupt our society is, America. Like we like the gentleman back there said, we are funding genocide. We are supporting genocide. We have been doing it actually for centuries, our entire existence, whether it's been Filipino people or, I mean, African Americans. It's like there's like every minority on, or almost every minority on earth has in some way been affected by the United States. And that we're just continuing to just, you know, oh, we'll just, whatever, let's send them money because who cares? It's to keep our precious freedoms. No, why don't we take a second, look at ourselves and say, maybe we should, you know, look at who we're supposed to be like friends and allies with and like make real change and say, you know what, if you behave this way, no, we're not going to support you. You need to, there will be repercussions for your actions. But you know, whether it's been what, 10, 11 months. So I don't know if any of these words are going to get through to any of you, but that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone online? No. I have a motion to close the public comments.
Make this motion, Mr. Mayor.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Christina, you got anything for us?
Sure, just a quick PSA, the Historic Preservation Commission is currently considering the nomination of the properties on Irving Place as a local historic district. So that would be in addition to our two existing historic districts on Washington Street and also Broad Street. So there's criteria for that. And there will be a hearing relative to that. I just want to make sure folks know that the date was changed from this month to September 18th, 7 p.m. in this exact room. There will be a hearing relative to that consideration. And certainly you are welcome to come if you have any interest or any comments on the matter. Thank you.
Dave.
Just briefly, a couple meetings back, we approved a special event for a block party on a mechanic, and I just decided to go after seeing it. I was like, I'll go meet some new neighbors. It was really great. I don't know what else to say. Like, I just want to encourage residents to know that it's a very easy process. It was a great way of neighbors getting together, meeting new neighbors. People were walking by, curious, popping in. That's literally what I did, and I just thought it was so great. So I just really want to encourage folks, if you'd like to find a way to meet new people, especially in this age where we're all kind of like online, just think about those block parties. It takes a couple signatures, and the police were wonderful in setting off the street, and it was just great. So good way to spend an evening in Red Bank, and I hope folks will avail themselves of it, inclusive of myself for that matter.
Sure. The report from the Environmental Commission is that Sustainable Jersey actions have been submitted. Special thanks to our CSJ coordinator, Shauna. And they've scheduled a date with the middle school again for the Green Fair for 2025. That's scheduled to be April 10th. So it's before Earth Day and no holidays in there. The other thing is that we would also like to thank our community development coordinator in helping us get the environmental resources inventory. It's now in progress. We've received some initial chapters, and it looks very good from what I've been hearing. Let's see, what else do we have? There's a sidewalk sale this weekend. I just want to remind everybody about that. And with the sidewalk sale comes free parking. So I'll just throw that out there. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben?
Parks and Rec
department continues to be extremely busy. I went to movies night myself with my lovely wife to see Godzilla versus King Kong right here in the park. Our jazz program is going full blast, and I think we're having it over at Johnny Jazz Park as well as here. For details, please go to our website. Our summer camps are starting to wrap up. I think, Freddie's pointing out that I don't have the speaker thing. Thank you, Freddie.
No, you
All
have.
right, what is it?
You're good.
I am good, okay. So anyway, our Parks and Rec is very busy in the summer, and so we are rocking. What's that? Look at my phone.
Oh, the block
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, block parties.
So the Red Bank Community Block Party?
Yes, the Red Bank Community Block Party, August 17th, 2024.
Okay.
A longtime Red Bank tradition, always fun, and really good cooking.
Yes.
Yes, so
Good
please.
riddance.
And actually, Georgina, I just wanted to say that I think everybody, I don't know about everybody, I certainly listen to you and appreciate you coming. I don't feel like I need to kind of revisit the issues that we have. You know, you've heard me speak as well as others up here. I know that not all of you have been here before. And I just, I know that's not what you want to hear, but I do appreciate your activism and determination. Thank you. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Laura?
The library, the elevator is still being worked on. And we're really busy with the animal welfare, working on dog days, which is September 7th. It's gonna be in Riverside Park. Getting lots of gifts and sponsors for that. I wanted to mention, we're gonna have a Women's Health Forum. It's actually done by one of our DreamWorks from Red Bank. She works with a group that she got some grant money through, and it's gonna be part of the Mayor's Wellness Program. So it's gonna be on next Friday, August 16th, 3:30 to 5:30. Dr. Coley, who's a breast surgeon at Monmouth Medical, is gonna be talking about early detection. It's gonna be bilingual. Patient navigator be able to provide educational materials on the importance of mammography screening and early detection. And there'll actually be someone there who can help them make appointments. There'll also be blood pressure screenings, blood sugar screenings. We're gonna have refreshments and childcare. I have a flyer in English and Spanish. Thank you, Laura, for helping me with these. So we hope we get a good turnout for that. It'll be at the library, at Red Bank Library.
Yay.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Laura, I just wanted to thank you for jumping right into action. Betsy Varela, she's a recent graduate at Red Bank Regional. She was directly impacted by losing a family member to cancer, and she's also a member of the Latino community here. And part of the project that she wanted to take on was making sure that these conversations are happening within the Latino community, to prevent, this from happening or impacting someone the way it impacted her. And I know that you've just been so supportive and wonderful, and that you and the Mayor's Wellness Campaign jumped right in to coordinate. So thank you. National Night Out got rained out this week. The new date is August 13th. For more information, you can visit the Red Bank Police Department Facebook page. And I just wanted to highlight that we had the Mexican consulate come to visit Red Bank, basically like a mobile embassy. They have visited the town in the past for years. We've had a relationship with them. This time it was in a proper government municipal facility. 120 appointments were satisfied. This was for everything from Mexican passports and other documents, and also for people if they want to move to Mexico and they want to get a Mexican visa, or you want to go to retire to Mexico, the embassy provides those services as well. So this was a major accomplishment for the borough. The head of foreign affairs for Mexico with USA and Canada was here in our little Red Bank. And he was very impressed with our government relations for being, a little municipality. So this was really a big goal for us as a council, and insofar as community outreach and services offered to the borough. And it was wonderful to see the space of the senior center used so properly to service so many people at once. And that's essentially all that I have right now. Thank you.
I forgot to mention Indy Street.
Oh, yeah, Indie Street Film Festival is coming up. Thank you for the reminder. I think we have another meeting before it. But I would, yeah, I'm honored. I serve on the advisory board for a film festival in town, and David Cassidy also is going to be a juror for it, as his profession is documentary filmmaking. And the mayor, his son Max, is also involved in the film festival because he's involved in the film industry. So it's really become a real family affair for all of us. But everybody, please check out the Indie Street Film Festival. It's my favorite time of year in Red Bank. The programming is unique and powerful. There's films in it that have wound up in Sundance. Directors come to our town. The opening night documentary is actually about a refugee, and the refugee who is the main person in the film will actually be joining us for a Q&A with the director. And the dates are August 19th through the 25th. So it's full week. Before they were attempting to do daytime programming, but now it's mainly been shifted to the evening and just more days. So just check out Indie Street Film Festival for more information. Thank you.
The Olympics is going on. The United States women's national team is in the gold medal match against Brazil. It's Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, and the reason I'm telling this all to you is because Count Basie is doing a free screening of the game on their screen, which I believe is the largest screen in Monmouth County. So I will certainly be there to cheer the ladies on, and hopefully some of you will join me. I also saw that they're showing The Godfather with a live symphony orchestra on August 18th, so that's pretty cool also.
I got one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's kind of a sad one. We lost a member of the community. His name was Noel. He was a wonderful bartender at Dublin House. He was a good friend of mine. And chances are that somebody listening to this was probably a friend of his as well. So there's gonna be, you reminded me of it because I remembered that we're asking people to go watch Chelsea play for him. So an informal celebration of life will be held Sunday, August 11th, 10 a.m. at Dublin House to watch Noel's favorite team, Chelsea. So if anybody, out there knew Noel as a bartender at Dublin House, come watch Chelsea play. Thanks.
All right. No, I don't have much. I'll be out of town for a few days, doing college tours. That was my son that just came in to get my car keys. So I'm sure you guys will hold down the fort for me. I'll be back Wednesday, leaving Sunday. And that's all I got. Jim.
I had one thing, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
I apologize. I wanted to acknowledge the sign off from John Ward from Red Bank Green, and I just want to acknowledge what he built here in Red Bank. It's probably the most important media source in Red Bank, and was started by a guy who had this vision and tenacity, and bless him. I don't know what else to say. It has served this community. I haven't always agreed with 100% of what he's written or how he's written it, but we are so much better for having had John engage his community and build Red Bank Green into what it is today. And he handed it off beautifully. He did it with dignity. And I just want to wish him nothing but the best for all the time he now has with Trish. And today went by without me acknowledging it. It's just such an important institution in this town at this point, and John deserves a lot of credit for it.
Amen.
And we will still see him around town. His first official day of retirement, I saw him over at the Indie Street kickoff event. And he's looking to write a screenplay.
We do some sort of, why don't you do like an acknowledgement of his service to the town?
Well, I think we were maybe planning, we put it together. We're gonna probably put a little proclamation together, just thanking him for his service.
Good idea.
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to obviously acknowledge the rain events that we've had in town, but particularly the South Street flooding that's taken place. I've been in contact with our borough engineers, both CME and TNM. TNM was a part of the project of the paving and curbing on South Street, so we were seeing if there was some connection there. I do want to read from TNM what they provided for me today. With some recommendations that they replace the inlet heads and ensure that the grates are free of debris. So the inlet heads that were placed at Spring Street are the ones that are required. I'm sorry, South Street. Thank you. On South Street are the ones that are required by DOT and the NJDEP as far as stormwater management goes. Now they do have smaller openings than some of the other ones some of the older ones that you see around town, which we do feel is contributing to the flooding that's going on there after taking a holistic look at it. It's definitely something that the residents there have noticed and specifically pointed out. So we did take a closer look at that, and because of the amount of water that goes down South Street into that particular area, having those smaller opening grates seems to be actually contributing to the problem. At this point, we're gonna have to make the executive decision to swap those out and discuss with NJDOT and NJDEP what our issues are there to see if we can get some relief. But I'm gonna enact DPU to do that rather quickly so that we can see if that mitigates some of our flooding in that area, and then have those discussions with those respective agencies. But if that's not sufficient, then they may have to recommend the installation of additional inlets on South Street to accommodate the flow there. Because it seems like there's additional pipes underground that are coming into those inlets that are creating a lot of water flow. So we're on it. We're looking into the problem. It was definitely well documented from Facebook, which was appreciated in this sense, because we took those videos, showed our engineers what was going on in real time. The DPU project, which we talked about last meeting, we did have a committee meeting amongst the ad hoc committee of council that was created, along with the architect on that project, Netta, who's the borough's architect, and we named off the special projects engineer list. We named Mazer Consulting, I'm sorry, Colliers.
Take a time because she.
Yeah, which was once Mazer Consulting, but Colliers Engineering, who will be spearheading that project. So I anticipate in the next week to be having an on-site meeting with those professional services, along with our DPU, and start moving forward on that project. Marine Park has seen a little bit of a delay, I would say, only due to supplies. We're waiting for some electrical conduit supplies to come in. Last I got word this past week is that electrical conduit's in, so they'll be able to do that underground work and then start working on the curbing and islands in that parking lot at Marine Park. Then again, as I've stated, they'll move over to the White Street lot, which we have an easement that needs to be put back in the White Street lot, and then head over to the green space to complete that area in front of the Navsink there. I did want to mention that we have a prospective bike lane, but we have Harrison Ave, which is part of our road project, but we're looking at a prospective bike lane on Harrison Ave. So there's going to be a little bit more information specific to that community there on Harrison to see how that works. We anticipate, we're working out a little bit of the engineering specifics right now, but we anticipate doing a temporary bike lane, hopefully in time for Porch Fest, to see how that all works on Harrison, and possibly tie that into River Road, which goes out to Fairhaven, to their bike lane into their downtown.
Right, tying it into River Road, which would then connect into Harding, so it creates a loop.
Harding creates the loop to biking to the school. So we're hoping to, and this is all in response to what we heard from that biking pedestrian forum, a number of the different suggestions that people have given. This is just one of those facets of the biking report, or the biking pedestrian report that was done in the borough in 2010.
Yeah.
2010, which we're trying to then start acting on some of those recommendations in that report. And then most importantly tonight for me is the announcement of our community engagement coordinator. This is a position that was created. It's something that I felt there's a great need for in this community. I'm pleased to say that we received about, I want to say definitely more than 30 applications, probably closer to 40 applications. We interviewed somebody that, was out in Idaho that's relocating back to Red Bank that does the job. However, like I said, we interviewed a diverse group of individuals. We did an initial process. We sent it to a second round process where it was narrowed down to 3 candidates. I had those candidates complete an actual project, a work product that I wanted to review. And in the end, I've recommended and have offered the position to Adriana Medina Gomez, who accepted the position. And Adriana is a supreme candidate for this job. She's bilingual, which will help us with our 36% population, our Hispanic population. She's been in Red Bank for over 10 years, working in Red Bank. She was a Red Bank, she went to Red Bank schools. She believes in inclusive public messaging. She's a translator. She's currently a community engagement coordinator in her current role. And we are happy to, and she just has a great resume as far as boards and committees that she sits on. Red Bank Early Childhood Advisory Council, Red Bank Hispanic Heritage Month Planning Committee. She's on the Red Bank Juneteenth Committee, Red Bank Resource Network Provider Council. She's a DEI Task Force leader, Count Basie Strategic Planning Committee member. She has multiple certifications and trainings in DEI, certificate in allyship in the workplace. So she's going to bring a lot to, number one, the borough. She's going to in-house, and she's going to bring a lot to the borough at large. So I'm very happy to make this announcement. I plan to put out a formal announcement tomorrow morning by way of a press release, let people know that Adriana is coming, and we are thrilled to have her, and we anticipate her start date of September 9th.
Thanks. That's some good news.
Thank you, Jim. We don't have an executive session.
Yeah, we do.
All right. So then can I have a motion to adjourn to executive session?
I'll make such a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We
Request.
take a 5-minute break, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Yes. It's exactly the public's benefit. Mr. Cohen, how long will this executive session take approximately?
Shouldn't be more than a few hours, Greg.
And you might be doing it by yourself, Jonathan. We'll say
About 15, 20 minutes, depending on.
we'll go 30 to be safe. And no action will be taken after executive session. The topic of the executive session is personnel, employee disciplinary matter. Thank you.